Well, it appears that winter is coming back. And so I promise you this is going to be the last video I do on tree climbing stuff. And I've got what I think is interesting stuff because a lot of you are interested in like technical stuff, gear. And so I'm going to show you a few things. And so I've got, basically I was describing that limb up there as a pulley. It's just a wooden pulley that doesn't have any moving parts. So the rope goes over, comes back down, and then you would attach that to your center D. And then this is the split tail, just a section of rope that then on the fall, this is the long part, and that friction nut allows it to go up, and then you keep going. It's a one-way knot, and then for rappelling, go down like this. I could add, look at that, this is a minder pulley. This is a micro pulley, and it's a cool bit of gear. I've got a little prusik right there, and it's attached to this one. And all I would need to do is take this off, dot, 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 the music interlude, stick that below there, and watch this. It automatically pulls it up. So you don't have to like keep pushing this up with your hand. However, and I'm going to add a however, I do not use this for climbing up. What I use the minder pulley for is when I'm limb walking. You're walking out on a long branch, walking out of view, and then you can control that with just one hand. You don't have to have both hands on there, so you've got the ability to use a saw. And that is that. That is technology. Now, the next part is akin to a magic trick. This has always fascinated me. It makes sense when you think about it. But imagine that you want to climb a tree. All of you do, especially Keith. Keith likes to be up high in trees. Said so last evening in a text. And you want to go that extra step. I mentioned you never have a guy or a gal, because there's women arborists out there, master arborists, climbing your tree with spurs, those spiky things that dig in, just using a buck strap like a lumberjack. Because it's going to hurt your tree. You want to climb on ropes. We take it one bit further. That branch up there, that rope is sliding over it. How about if we change it to the rope sliding through steel rings? Now this is the trick. One ring is bigger than the other, and that goes into the magic trick. Now this one, as if I needed to write that rigging only, because it's very well used and you don't want to use something crummy like that to risk your life. But I've got another one here. Almost a brand spanking new, barely any wear on it. What is that, you may ask? Well, this is a little dealie that basically shortens it, and I would use this when I was taking a top down out of a tree. This is not on correctly, so don't, I just kind of threw it on there. But it's a way of having a sliding distance on your cambium saver, your cambodium saver. And your rope would go through these two rings, and it would be attached to the stem, the bole of the tree. You'd be standing up there and getting ready to have the fun of taking that top down, slamming against a trunk, and just, you know, being jostled so much at altitude that you can't see. Fun. I love that. I love that part. Anyway, let me take this off. Now I'll explain the scheme of this thing. It's funny how all this stuff is super expensive. Really, I mean, this thing probably costs about 50 bucks, but then again, when your life depends on it, you don't want to skimp out. You notice that I have my slick line. Let me untangle this to some degree, and then I'm going to aim this up here. And because of my production methods, we're going to just have to like put up with the shaking of the camera. But I have taken my throw bag, my throw pouch. Let me aim this thing. That's the end of it, that little red thing, and it goes up and it goes over that branch, and it's hard to see, but it's not the bottom one, but it's the next one up. I want to, let me put this back down here because I'm going to be working. I want to put that cambium saver over that branch. And so before I threw it, there we go. Before I threw it, I threaded that through the big ring. Now I'm going to take this, and you saw that wasn't up there. I'm going to take this one, take the bag off. It's getting kind of nippy, so my fingers aren't working well. Make sure it's not twisted. It'll still kind of work. Let's see, which is the upper end? That's the bottom end. There we go. Slide that string through there. Retie my little shot bag. And I wonder if I can do this. Okay, it's all set up here. I'm going to put this helmet cam on here, and hopefully it works out. Do my straps. I'm going to go here without shaking you up too much. And I'm going to pull that thing. Don't worry, it's going to come into view, and then I'll look up. Don't panic. Stop panicking. Oh man, I hope this is in view. Oh my goodness, look at that. And I'm going to set that back down. And you can see me working. Now the trick is to now put your line through there. So I'm back. This is a slick way to control your ropes. True blue, 12 strand Samson line. Everyone's like going to 16 strand or 24 strand or 3,000 strand. All this modern stuff. It's kind of cool when you think about it. And I could have set that thing in that tree 80 feet up. 80 and a half. Put the throw bag down there where I can find it. Tie a little clove hitch, because this needs to pass through the small ring. I love the knots. Extra credit. What is the difference between a knot and a hitch? I'm not going to tell you. I know, and then I'm going to do one of these little things so it'll guide its way through, and I'll show you a close-up. The clove hitch, and then I just did this little twist and put it on the end. And you want to make sure everything is tangled up. And you can even retrieve the cambium saber from the ground. Oh, I have to redo that. This is actually the trickiest part, and I've got that electrical tape that kind of screws it up. I'm going to do 2 of these things. If 1 is better, 2 is even better. If a little is good, a lot is even better. The guy's creed. There we go. And now, my friends, I'll undo this. Although using the ball, and now there's like a frictionless, you can climb on that. I'm not damaging the tree. Let me point this skyward. Look at that, my climb line is set through my cambium saver. I am not damaging any inner bark on that. Now I know what you're saying. How do you get that down? Well, remember that there is a big ring and a small ring. And so you can see it from the bottom, the big ring has orange on that end, and the small ring has green. And you have to pay attention to that, because if you reverse that, you're going to have to climb back up the tree to retrieve it manually. And so, just a granny knot, just a simple granny knot, because that's going to pass through the big ring and catch on the little ring. See that? Then I'm going to retie this thing. You don't need to have your throw line attached to it, but if it's way up high, believe me, that hurts when it comes down on your head if you don't have your helmet on. And so I'm going to bring that down in a controlled manner. course, you want to make sure everything is tangled. So I get this down, undo that. And all it's left is to just redo your lines. Pretty tricky, huh? And that's it. Your magic trick of the day. And again, snow is on the way, so time to pack up my gear and go off to Bo's. I've got some goals, things to clean up, get done before Christmas, so I am working on it, but you know, make hay while the sun shines, climb trees while it's sunny. That is that. Bonus. If you invest in climbing gear, you'll find out that you can spend quite a bit of money. And so this is a nice saddle, but if I had it to do over again, I would not buy this classic. The one reason is, when you're tightening it up, these things are a bear. The Petzl's pretty mellow, but always get a saddle that you can disconnect in the front with quick disconnects, and not these stupid friction tightening things, because it is a nightmare. It's difficult, and if you don't get it fitted right, it's pretty painful to climb on. So don't get the classic, get one that has disconnects. That is all.